Hello and welcome back to your favorite annual tradition where I talk about my top 10 favorite games of the year. I've been doing this shit since 2017, except no other year since then because I forgot about it, and I also grew up and sold my soul to start talking about anime, but now we're talking about video games again. And also, nothing else has changed. I'm still stupid and I have a terrible mic because I forgot to bring my microphone home for the holidays. I was really looking forward to doing this year because I started hanging out with people that convinced me to try more things, play more games, and then I did! And I have a lot of things to say. So I'm just gonna get into the list. Coming in at number 10, we got Ape Out. I don't like playing long games, usually I don't have the time to play games, but if you want a really good short game, you play Ape Out. You play as a monkey, and you bust out, and that's the entire game. I had a good time with this one. If you want something that's simple, it's made by Bennett Foddy, and he made that awful game that was in my 2017 ranking that I thought was good. At number 9, Golf with Your Friends. I downloaded this game, and I wish I got the chance to play it more, because genuinely one of the best gaming memories I have of this year is sitting in a call with like 8 of my friends, and we're all just shooting golf balls and crying in anguish as we keep missing the hole. It's genuinely one of the best multiplayer experiences I've ever had. However, it's just kind of hard to organize the people that you play it with. It's definitely one of those experiences that are dictated by who you're playing with as opposed to what you're playing, because at the end of the day, it's just mini golf. At number 8, we have Sonic Adventure 2. This shit may have been the first game I have ever played, and I decided to play it again after all these years, and it kinda holds up. I can see why people say it aged poorly, but still, the heights of this game are so good. When you're sitting in the final level and they're holding their hands out, and then Live and Learn starts kicking in, and then it says Final Hazard as you're flying through space, it is so good. Also, this game marks the first time I've ever modded, which is fucking rich considering I'm studying to become a game developer and I'm a senior in college. But every time I've tried modding up until this point, I usually broke the PC I was using, so I developed a fear of it, but now I can make Sonic the Hedgehog fly around in creative mode. It's great. Coming in at number 7, we have TF2, Team Fortress 2, and Titanfall 2. Over the summer, I've been trying to get back into first-person shooters, and Team Fortress 2 is a classic that I kind of always stick with. Whenever I'm bored, I play Team Fortress 2 for a little bit, and you can't go wrong, especially since this year they kind of made an effort to get rid of the bots, so it was a bit more playable than it was in the past few years. But more importantly, Titanfall 2 kind of showcased that new stuff can be pretty good too. The movement in Titanfall 2 is insane, and I'm so glad I got the chance to check it out because it was on sale this summer. I haven't played the story mode for Titanfall 2, but it is something I am meaning to check out in the future because the multiplayer was just so goddamn good, and I suck at it, and I want to get better. But I think of the two of them, I will rank Titanfall 2 just a bit higher, just because Team Fortress 2, it kind of gets stale after you've been playing it for so many years in a row. Then at number 6, I'm going to say it's Splatoon 3. This is one of my favorite multiplayer games of the year. Is it not great? Yeah, I know, but god damn, Splatoon developers just get it. The aesthetic, the style, the gameplay, it all fits, and it makes you feel like you're in this world, and I want to be there. God, I wish squids were real. They were cooking with this one. How many things do I have to say here? My only negative thoughts towards this game, and the reason that it's so low, is that, the story mode wasn't as good as the Octo expansion, and it was clear that they were trying to replicate a lot of the heights that made the Octo expansion from Splatoon 2 work, but even then, you don't really play these games with the story mode. I love the fact that they included a card game for no reason. Number 5, Super Metroid. Another thing I'm going to try doing on my future endeavors is revisit classic games that I am too young to have the experience with playing, and Metroid is definitely one of those experiences. Playing Super Metroid was phenomenal. It is, despite its age, it is one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played, And in the past couple years, I've played Hollow Knight, I played a couple of the Castlevania games, and even then, this game still holds up in how well designed and thought out it is. I did have to pull up a guide for a couple things, but the atmosphere it sets is unparalleled, and I look forward to potentially playing Metroid Dread in the future if I get my hands on it. Number 4 is a tie between Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami. I am living with two Yakuza insane people, one of which did an hour-long video on this channel talking about the entire franchise that I haven't even watched because I'm still playing through them. Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, I don't even know how to put it. It's a game that symbolizes just the fact that you can do anything, the fact that you can go from a story to beating the shit out of people to doing a wacky, zany side story. It is incredible, and it's something that I haven't experienced in a game nearly as much. The director of these games clearly knows what tone they're setting out to do, and the way that you can just flip-flop between two emotional extremes while still preserving the same quality of experience is really incredible. It's like a seamless transition, too. It's entirely dependent on what you are wanting to do. If you want to get back to the serious main story, well, yeah, you're going to get the serious main story. Of the two, I would say Yakuza 0 is just better. However, I kind of enjoyed Yakuza Kiwami more just because I liked going at a slower pace, and I didn't pace myself out nearly as well with Yakuza 0 because it took me multiple months to complete that game with a lot of breaks in between. But I don't think the director of the Yakuza games peaked with Yakuza, because at number 3, I have Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This game fucking rocks! This game rules, man! It's so good! You just play as a monkey in a ball! Or are you the sage? What is it? Is it a metaphor? Probably not. You're just playing fucking Monkey Ball! I posted so many clips to Twitter earlier this year of this insane trick shots I pulled off in this game, and I made them all work for me, because these games are good. And I say these games because this is like a re-release of 1 and 2, but God, can they just make a million of these? The level design's fun, it's all good. I play Monkey Ball, it's better than Yakuza, you heard it from me first. Coming in at number 2, I'm gonna put Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is one of the best fighting games I've ever played. Which isn't fair because this was also the same year I just got really into the Dragon Ball show, so I'm probably incredibly biased ranking it this high. However, I will say that Dragon Ball is good, and this game is also good, because I will just sit on the computer with my friend and online play, and we will go back and forth and back and forth. He would win some, I would almost win others, and the way that you can just hop into the next game. Smash Brothers is a game where if you lose, you feel bad because you know you could have done better. But even if you lose in these games, you still feel like a badass because you are playing as Goku, and you just did the Warp Kamehameha. I don't know what else to say. There's a story mode in this game, it's not that great, but when you got a multiplayer that works so well, you can't go wrong. Finally, at number 1, I have probably the only game aside from Splatoon 3 that came out in 2022. Back in 2017, I played Breath of the Wild. And while I thought it was one of the most important games I have ever played, I also realized that at the end of my playthrough, that it was a flawed experiment. It was a step in the right direction, but it had some things holding it back. Which is why I was thinking, man, the next Zelda game is going to be the best one. Which is why Tears of the Kingdom is one of my most anticipated games. Then, in the following year, I played Dark Souls, which is now my favorite game of all time. Jank and all, I know, it's a big claim. And now, I'm about... And as I finished Dark Souls, I was thinking, man, the best game they could possibly make is a game that was like Breath of the Wild and Dark Souls had a love child. Wouldn't that be cool? And then they fucking made it! It's a real game! It's called Elden Ring! Elden Ring's my #1 game because it's so good! like, okay, I know I can get into what makes it good and all that, but Elden Ring just gives me hope, man. Elden Ring's cool, you know. Spring break came around, I should have, like, been applying to jobs or some shit, but I was just sitting on the couch all break just playing Elden Ring, and there's so much game, and and then a week passed, and I didn't know who I was. I can't even say anything of substance because I don't know where to start with this game. It's got everything I love about Dark Souls, but it's perfectly translated to an open world. Where Breath of the Wild rewarded you with Korok seeds and shrines, this game says, hey, here's like a bunch of different mini-dungeons, bosses, side areas that you don't have to find. Like, there's so much side content in this game that the game has no qualms with you completely missing out on. Fun fact, Melania, the hardest boss in the game, didn't even know she fucking existed until after I finished it. Because I didn't know about the Howling Tree. And you know what? I don't feel like my experience was dampened because I missed it. It was so good. Games should be this. The DLC should come out now. I need this. Anyways, see you guys in another 5 years when I make the third installment in this. This is awful.